Everyone, welcome to my weekly edition of Show Me How It's Done. My name is Lauren Nerbonis and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Now today I have another Toadstool little card for you, but it was too adorable not to share. This was one that I showcased at my bingo event last week with my customers because I like to offer them a little make and take, and I had a little treat for them as well. They got this little packet of the tiny bee embellishments that we're going to use on the card, as well as, of course, lots of chances to win prizes. But I wanted to show you guys how to make this card because it's a oldie but a goodie. I haven't done it in a while, and I thought it was time to bring back this fold. So we're just going to make one of these, but of course I had to lay them both out for you to see. I have gotten the Toadstool, Totally Toadstool stamp set and punch from our new January to April mini catalog, and then the complementing designer series paper that I'm showing you today, it's called Toadstool Gardens, is available only as a free item until February 28th in our celebration brochure. So if you're not familiar with celebration, what it is for every $75 that you spend, my website is at the bottom there, you get to pick something for free. There are also a couple things you can get if you spend $150, like a beautiful bundle or a really large stamp set. But those are all visible and available online. They do run out sometimes near the end of the promotion, so keep in mind if you're watching this, it's still January, they all should be available. You can grab them now, and the bundle itself is still available till April, so even if you don't have time to replicate this card at the moment, you can do that anytime before then. So let's get busy. If you'd like to craft with me, I'm going to give you all the measurements. I have also put them in the description on the video, so if you want to click pause and just go cut all those pieces, you can do that right now. You can use anything else you have in your collection if you do not own this bundle, and just sub out the paper, sub out the stamp set, but you'll still be able to do this fold. So let me show you what's fun about this card. It opens up kind of like this, but then my nails are getting in the way. It opens like this. So you have a little secret hiding note in there, and the card folds up in a really fun and unique way. Now, let's get busy. I'm going to move this one out of the way because I did decide to do a pink version. I'm going to leave that open. Okay, things to start with. Number one, a card base. So I chose to use Melon Mambo for my card base because it complements the designer series paper, and it was easy for me to match things that way. So we're going to cut this to 4 1/4 by 10 3/4. So it's almost half a sheet, but not quite. 4 1/4 by 10 3/4. Then we need to do a little bit of scoring. So I've done this already on mine, so hopefully you can see it. It's not as challenging. We're going to score at 2 1/4 and 6 1/2. Those are your two lines. I will also say, while you have your trimmer out, you might also decide to just shave the tiniest little bit off of this edge now, because when you fold this over, sometimes, because these are they're two identical sections, you can have trouble folding the next part. So if that's the case, if you folded this over and you've made this little sort of card and you're bumping up against this score line, just open it up, trim the tiniest little bit off with your trimmer right now, and then you'll be able to fold this card closed like it's intended. Now, you need to find in your collection some sort, I'm going to open this, some sort of circle die or punch for this next step, okay? We need to cut a circle between these two sections. Let me find something heavy, like a block. Here we go. Hold that open for you. Is that better? Okay, so we're going to cut a circle. I'm choosing to use a punch, though, if I grab the right one, hold on here. You look a little large. Oh no, you're correct. Okay, this is a punch that we have had many, many years ago. Stampin' Up brought it back, and it's not in a publication, but it is available as an online exclusive offer. It's the 2 3/8 circle punch. The thing that I love about the online exclusives is some things that we've loved in the past have been sneaking back onto that promotion, and I'm hoping in the future there's going to be a few more favorites showing up on there too. I'm curious to hear what you guys would like to see come back. I think the thing that I would most be depressed about is if these stylish shapes dies disappeared, so they should just forever be an online exclusive item. Okay, hopefully you've found some sort of circle. It does not have to be this 2 3/8. You can also use a die. So let's say you have the stylish shaped circle dies like I mentioned earlier, or you've got those deckled circles or the regular circle dies that we used to have, or another similar punch. It's completely up to you. You just need a circle punch, and then you're going to work everything else backwards from there. So I'm going to take my punch, and I'm choosing to have my little pop-up on the right-hand side. So I want to have half of the circle in the top half and the half in the bottom. So we've got a nice even kind of cut. Make sure this isn't right at the edge of your paper, and make sure it's not drastically one way or the other. You want that line roughly in the middle. When you're satisfied or you're ready to commit, punch that out. Okay? It doesn't matter if it was perfect. The card isn't going to be wrecked if it's not, okay? So now here's the fun part. Since the card's open, we might as well decorate down here. You can cut a piece of white paper, and this is going to be, oh, I didn't write it down. Uh-oh, Lauren. Now I need a ruler. I'll be right back. Doing so good. Okay, here's my ruler. This white piece needs to be 4 inches by 4 inches. Oh, that was easy. Let me write it on my sheet. White. 4 by 4. All right, 4 by 4. If you would like to do any stamping on it, now is the time to do that, because of course it's really hard to do the stamping after you've glued something and made a mistake. So we're just going to make sure to do any and all stamping ahead of time. If you don't want stamping, totally up to you. So I'm going to grab some stamps from the Terrific Toadstools and do a little decorating. So I grabbed, to start, this little grass mound, and then I'm also going to grab one of the little mushroom stalks and the largest of the mushroom heads. What's the difference between a mushroom and a toadstool? Is it just 2 different names for the same thing? I'm curious, because I don't know. If you know, please write it in a message to me and let me know. Toadstool just sounds like the more like whimsical and magical word for something that I do not like eating. All right, that was Granny Apple Green, I should say. For my little stem, I have crumb cake. And just put him right beside. And then if you're using this large one like I am, I do suggest grabbing a scrap piece of paper, because he is a little big. Unless you want to tilt it dramatically, doesn't really fit on the card. So we're just gonna put a little scrap beside, and I'm using real red. I did a card with this set on catalog launch day on January 7th, and I wore white, and that is always a mistake. Should never do that. All right, red, red, red. Oh, didn't go quite. Okay, hold on. That's the beauty of these stamps. You can see my ink is still there, but I need to move this down in front of me. When you look straight down through the stamp, you can line it up again. press on the part you missed. Let's make sure that works. And voila. I like these. Okay, we're going to add this to the inside of our card using a flat adhesive. So whether you've got glue, seal, or tape, completely up to you. We're going to add this to the inside of the card. Now the correct way to attach this is going to have your circle up in the top of your workspace, and then down here in the bottom, your little note card is going to go right there. Red always takes a little bit to dry, so be careful. Now I'm going to flip this up and I'm going to add a piece of designer paper. So for the moment, ignore these two decals. We will talk about them later. We will add them later. But I want you to do some cutting of your designer series paper. So you're going to need to pick two pieces. Doesn't matter whether they're opposites of each other or just whatever you want. Two complementing pieces. One of them is going to be 4x4. Should have clued in that that matches the white. And then the other one is going to be 2x4. Okay, so the 2x4 you can put aside for a second. It's going to be the piece we put on the top of the project. But the 4x4 one we can add right now to this empty space. Should fit with just the slightest little border all the way around. And it's not directional, so I don't need to worry about making sure one way is up. All right, 4x4. Now we're gonna open this the other way, okay? So on the front of our card here is where this guy's gonna attach. And you're probably questioning and saying, Lauren, you forgot to punch that out. Don't worry, we're just gonna re-punch. The reason I got you to leave this loose is you can actually use this as one of your decal pieces in the future. So I'll show you why we kept this separate. But for this guy, we do have to reattach and re-punch. We're going to put that down, add a little bit of adhesive. Oh. And this is going to go, if it's lying on your table, you should see this little mound kind of poking through, or just the white. Tiny little bit of a border all the way. And don't press it too much, because keep in mind you do have adhesive right here, but that's okay. Grab this punch, rest it right back in the spot it was before, and re-punch. This half circle you can throw away. Okay, so now we have this part of the card. It looks cute. It's ready to build. So what you can do if you didn't have extras or you don't want to cut a brand new piece of your cardstock, is you can take that circle, pardon me, that we already cut, and you can use it right in place. Now, if you don't want this line kind of showing through, it will really only show through these two side pieces. You can also cut yourself a brand new circle using cardstock. But again, please maximize your cardstocks. Don't cut a brand new piece of paper just for a circle that you technically already have. I am going to take that away though, because I have extras. And I'm going to put adhesive only on this polka dot section. I don't want anything on the rest of the circle, so I'm only going to put adhesive in this polka dot section that is peeking through my window. And I don't need to go to the edges. I don't need to make this complete coverage. I just need a little bit of adhesive for my circle to rest on. Okay. That circle needs to, while the card is closed, rest exactly into the space. press it down, tuck it under. The intent is that then when you open this card, oops, nails once again getting in the way, you should be able to feed that circle through its space. You may, if it's off by like a little millimeter, have to kind of just bend down and tuck it under, but there should be no reefing on the card or having to really pull on it to make this work. Okay, so we've got one circle in pink. You do need another one. So again, you're going to have to go to your collection of circles and shapes and find something that works for you. I will tell you that this little scalloped circle is no longer in existence. It's one that Stampin' Up had a while ago, and I just thought it worked really well with my little stitched circle. So I've decided to use it. Many of you will have it on your shelf. It's the 1 3/8, but if you don't, just grab a circle that's slightly larger than your small one here. So the reason I'm saying you might not be able to copy me is if you didn't use that large circle, that same size up here, you won't be able to cut then the stylish shapes circle to complement. You have to play with your circles, basically. See what you can do in layering them. Find 2 different circles, one for a shadow and one for a base, basically. Okay, so I've cut myself a little pink scallop circle, and I'm going to use this to close the card up. But you want to be very careful not to put it too far up, otherwise you can't open the card. We're just going to put it underneath the existing flap there. So the easiest way to do that is you're just going to grab dimensionals, and while this is closed, you're going to put dimensionals right under the closing section and put your decal right on top. So the decal is only going to overhang, I would say, like not even halfway, not even 2/3, just the tiniest little sliver is overhanging, so it has something to catch, like this. And then you can lift it and tuck it under again. Okay, if you want, you can put one more dimensional under the back of your decal. Now that it's down, you just kind of reach under and tuck that right there. And then you're ready to start decorating with your white circles. So I cut myself the teeny tiny stylish shapes circles. I think this one is the second smallest and this one is the third largest. And we're going to do a little stamping on those before they make it onto the card. So on the small circle, there is an adorable little green leaf, or a leaf. I'm going to stamp it in green, granny apple green, and add that to the card. I don't have a block for that. Good thing I have more blocks. There we go. Granny apple green. It does come off the card a tiny bit, so do this on a scrap, not directly on your table. And then we're going to grab our real red ink again, and the smaller, not the smallest because there's 3 of them, I guess the medium little toadstool head right there. And that's going to go onto this guy here. It was hiding. Okay, because I want room for my sentiment and my stem, I'm going to stamp this as close to the top on the left as I can. And then I'm going to add the sentiment. The stem can come afterwards. I'm using early espresso for my sentiment, and it says just a little thank you, which I think is absolutely perfect for this kind of card. Like so. I can also tell you guys, since you already saw it actually, these were the card and set that I did on January 7th for the video. But what I didn't tell you is they were actually, this bag was a little gift for my bingo attendees. So I did the same idea of a decal, small little decal. I just want to make sure I'm not putting it on anything else. I just changed up the color. So I'm using red instead of orange, but very similar color scheme for that. So go back and watch that video if you're interested, but there's another idea of what you can do with this set. Okay, ready to attach these to the card. So my little leaf, he's gonna go with flat adhesive, some tape or some seal, and just go right onto that existing pink scallop circle. Scallop's also super tiny. You might have a circle that gives you a bit more of a border. Go. And mushroom now can go here, but I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals because I wanted it to have a little life. If you decide to do something different with these card measurements, you're like, well, I'm going to use a different suite. I'm going to do something else. You totally can, but don't have anything overhanging this existing circle, that pink circle, because if you have something overhanging, it's going to catch when you try to open and close your card. You won't be able to move this card open and closed, okay? So you do just want to make sure that whatever you have stays contained inside that existing circle. Doesn't matter if you have a little dimension, that will fit, but nothing sticking out, like no leaves or branches or flying bumblebees. Oh, that's very crooked. Hold on. Come back. I need you to center a little bit. Is that better? That looks better to me. Okay, much nicer. My little stem is going to come from the punch set here. So I've just fed a little bit of crumb cake paper into the back here. Do that. I like to use just a little strip of paper. Oh, somebody loves me. Ontario. Nope, I'm good today. I don't need to be told that I'm on the wanted list, sure. My Visa card has been compromised. I don't have a Visa card. All right, there's my little stem. I'm adding that on now with some glue, but I'm adding one more thing too. These are the tiny Bee Trinkets, and they are not part of this suite. They are from the Delightful Memories or Moments or something like that. Delightful Wishes suite in the January to April mini catalog. And I've used so many of them lately that I only have 2 left, but that is all right. There was 40 to start. I'm super glad I can share those and play with them. Okay, a little bit of glue for my stem line and a lot of glue for my bee. Your stems can go either way since they're punched out of cardstock. There we go. And one little bumblebee. Right on there. So I wouldn't move this one for a moment, just let it sit and dry because you don't want it to end up, you know, bumping the bee off or something like that. But when it's dry, you'll be able to easily open the card up and write something in there for someone else. I'll bring the other one back here for you to see too. And there's the other color scheme. I just couldn't decide which one I wanted, but I used the same designer paper, just opposite. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. You can also go back and watch all of the old videos too. There's over 200 of them, and you can find this one in its original form. I think I did with an apple, I think it was apple harvest or something. Way back when I was just starting out, I did this kind of card with that. And so sometimes it's nice to refresh those cards and bring forth new ideas with them. But I will see you guys next Tuesday at noon for another edition of Show Me How It's Done. Bye.